Have you watched the previous episode's video? Welcome to the story of this episode, Chapter 54, Exploring the Ruins and the Mysterious Guidance. Back at home, after careful consideration, Sumu decided to explore an ancient ruin in the spirit fantasy realm. It was said that this ruin was the residence of a powerful cultivator in ancient times, hiding many precious cultivation methods and powerful spiritual power treasures. If he could obtain the inheritance within, Sumu believed that his strength would be greatly enhanced, enabling him to better deal with the threat of the Dark Spirit sect. Before setting off, Sumu discussed the matter with his grandfather and the elders of Linksea Town. Although they were worried about Sumu's safety, they also knew that this was a rare opportunity to improve his strength. They all expressed their support and prepared some necessary items for Sumu, such as spiritual power maps, defensive spiritual artifacts, etc. Carrying the expectations of everyone, Sumu embarked on the journey to the ruins. Along the way, he endured hardships, passing through dense forests, crossing surging rivers, and climbing steep mountains. After several days of travel, Sumu finally arrived at the area where the ruins were located. It was a desolate desert, with howling winds and flying sand filling the sky. Sumu circulated his spiritual power to resist the erosion of the sandstorm, and at the same time followed the guidance of the spiritual power map to search for the entrance to the ruins. However, it was extremely difficult to find the entrance in the desert. Sumu wandered in the desert for a long time but couldn't find any clues. Just when Sumu was feeling a bit discouraged, he suddenly saw a strange spiritual bird circling in the sky. The spiritual bird was emitting colorful light all over its body, and its eyes were vivid, as if watching Sumu. An idea flashed in Sumu's mind. He thought that this spiritual bird might be able to guide him. Sumu followed the flying direction of the spiritual bird. The spiritual bird seemed to be deliberately guiding him, flying not too fast and always remaining within Sumu's sight. Led by the spiritual bird, Sumu came to a huge sand dune. The spiritual bird landed on the sand dune, gently pecked at the ground with its beak, and then flew away. Sumu carefully observed the sand dune and found some faint runes on it. He circulated his spiritual power, trying to activate these runes. As spiritual power was injected, the runes gradually lit up, and the sand dune began to move slowly, revealing an entrance hidden underground. An ancient and mysterious aura emanated from the entrance. Sumu took a deep breath and stepped into the entrance. Inside the entrance was a narrow passage. The walls on both sides of the passage were engraved with various strange patterns and words. As Sumu walked along the passage, he carefully observed these patterns and words, trying to obtain some information about the ruins. However, these patterns and words were very obscure and difficult to understand. Sumu could only barely make out some fragmented words. From this information, Sumu learned that a fierce battle had taken place in this ruin once, and many powerful cultivators had fallen here. The treasures hidden in the ruins seemed to be closely related to this battle. As Sumu went deeper into the passage, the surrounding spiritual power fluctuations became stronger and stronger. He knew that he was getting closer to the core area of the ruin, but at the same time, the danger was gradually increasing. The story continues. More exciting content is coming up. Subscribe as soon as possible.